guys, I have another review for you today, and this time it's on the E.L.F. eyelid primer, and this is from their dollar line, so this retails for $1. So when I saw this a while ago, I was like, wow, that's really neat, an eyelid primer for $1. I know that L'Oreal makes like a drugstore one, the L'Oreal Decrease. I haven't tried that myself, but I know that's like, you know, $6 to $8. So for $1, I was like, you know, I have to try that, and if it works, that's awesome because there's no need to buy like high-end ones anymore. I do have the Urban Decay primer potion, and I have the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which is in my bathroom because my mom's been using it. So I have those to compare it to, and these, the higher end ones, retail for $17. So what an eyelid primer does is you put it on over your eyeshadow, and it's supposed to prevent creasing. It's supposed to have or help your eyeshadow stay on longer, and you know, some of them are actually going to be good for helping your eyeshadows be more vibrant and pop more and be more true to color. I find that the E.L.F. eyelid primer does a good job of preventing creasing. I haven't had a problem with, you know, my eyeshadows creasing at all. I think it does a good job. The consistency is very creamy. It's a lot creamier than the Urban Decay one. You can see it right there, and it only comes in one shade, and it's sheer. I know it's kind of, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's kind of like peachy, but it does sheer out. I find that it actually has, because it has kind of like that like bit of tint to it, it kind of evens out skin on your eyelids a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. And it does dry to like a powdery consistency. Unlike the Urban Decay and Too Faced, I find that those have a little bit of tackiness still to it, so the eyeshadows grab on well. I think they work really well for pigments and loose eyeshadows, whereas this, I found that it doesn't really grab on that well to loose shadows and stuff like that. I also found that for some reason, no matter how much I blend this out, some parts will still grab more than others. Like, there'll be sections of my eye that are a little more, you know, like the eyeshadow actually grabs on better than, you know, another part of my eye, which I think is kind of weird, and I don't know why it does that, considering, like I said, it dries pretty, like, evenly, you know, and it dries, you know, to like a powdery finish, but for some reason the eyeshadow grabs still, which I think is kind of strange, and it doesn't grab evenly. Also, I noticed that my eyeshadows aren't as vibrant when I use these. It's not a huge difference, but it's a difference enough for me to notice it, where I find that when I apply like my everyday eyeshadows, they look a little bit different. They look a little bit lighter when I do use this, just because I realize like, oh, it's because they're not as vibrant when I use this compared to the Urban Decay and the Too Faced. But for $1, I think, you know, I think it works well. Like I said, it prevents creasing, and, you know, makes your eyeshadow last pretty much all day. Again, I haven't had a problem with this at all with that, but like I said, it's just, it doesn't do a great job of making my eyeshadows pop, and it does kind of grab in some areas and not in others, which I think is really strange. But for $1, I think it's worth giving it a try. Would I repurchase it? I wouldn't, like, be lost without it. I wouldn't feel like, oh no, I have to go rebuy it after I run out of it. It's okay. It's probably something that I would just keep like in an emergency makeup bag, or on days where I don't really care and I'm wearing like a bunch of neutrals anyway, I wouldn't mind using this. But I do still prefer the Urban Decay or the Too Faced, which those work pretty much the same for me. So I do like those, but keep in mind this is $17 and this is $1. You can get 17 of these for the price of one of these. So if you're on a budget, this, I think, personally is, you know, a good eyelid primer. So if you guys have tried it, let me know what you think. I hope this review was helpful, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.